Woo! Thank you, Multi-Ball.
Oh, no way. That's awesome, Multi-Ball. Let's go.
Are they watching the stream by any chance? The Magical Drop one?
I think
Because I don't
so.
think they're watching. Oh,
They're
Magical Drop. Okay.
Oh yeah, they're in here.
definitely
They're in
here.
here. I see them.
Okay, dude, thank you so much for the $50 donation, and with that being said, that brings our total up to $589.69. So again, thank you so much for the
That's
contribution.
a nice amount of money, yeah.
Nice. Wink, wink.
But yeah, before I go into Grand Finals of Survival Arts, just want to say if you guys want to contribute to a really great cause that's by and for autistic people that helps out the community all around the world, check out the Matcherino, donate some dope-ass money, and hopefully we can get to 640 by the end of the night. So, yeah, I'll see you guys on the flip side.
Yep.
Later.
So what was I going to say? I was going to talk about mash moving.
Mash moving, I'm curious to learn, yeah.
You'll probably see a bunch of it in this this match. And actually, the best way to not see it is to listen for it. So you're going to hear this squeaky noise when they're moving really quickly, laterally, side to side. And what's happening is if you hold down a direction and then you mash the pickup button, you will rapidly move in that direction and pick up every color of bubble that you were already holding.
Oh,
so you can be on the left side of the board, pick up yellow, hold right, and just mash pickup. And you will basically warp to the other side of the board and pick up all of the yellow that you pass on the way.
I was going to say, I find the magician pattern super annoying, but
that helps with it a lot.
It helps, yeah, immensely.
Yeah. So
I wish I knew that a moment ago.
Yeah, if you hear... Oh, wow, that was a close one. Down to 2 quota there. But if you hear that squeaky noise coming out of them, that's them attempting to mash move. Because it'll squeak every time you go over a column that is not the color that you're already holding. So basically, the top
so if there's
flight
nothing to pick up, it won't pick up. Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, it'll make that squeaky I can't hold this noise.
Yo, that sounds insanely useful.
It's really good. I honestly don't use it as much as I should, but it is what makes or breaks a lot of the very top end games and the top players. If you're utilizing mash moving really well, it just opens up a whole entire new dimension to this game. Because being able to move quickly like that also buys you time in extending combos or bailing yourself out if you're close to the edge of the board and you want to keep your combo going, because you won't get trash while your combo is underway. So trash doesn't come until you finish.
I'm on a stick rather than a hitbox, and I feel like a lot of players are going to be playing on keyboard.
We have a lot of keyboard players, yeah.
Yeah. Mash movement is more difficult on keyboard than a stick.
I don't necessarily agree with that. But it's definitely a lot more of a
keyboard.
Yeah. But you can literally just they just mash. My favorite all-time quote, and I probably say this during every Magical Drop stream that I have, is we had a grand finals, one of our first events, that was between Rudolph and Wanpa, the 2 top players in the scene, and they had a bracket reset, and I said, are you guys ready to play the reset? And they said, no, we need a second, our keyboards are sweating. They had been mash moving and playing so hard that their keyboards are just wet from how hard they were going. I was like, alright guys, we'll give you 5 minutes.
Well, I don't know, at least I've got a technique where I can just slide my 4 fingers across a button and mash 4 times in one motion.
Yeah.
So that when I say it's easier, I mean you can't as easily do that on keyboard.
Yeah, it's definitely more efficient. And the other nice thing for moving the stick is way more wrist motion than it is to just press a key on your keyboard or on your hitbox.
For sure. Yeah.
And it definitely saves your wrist a lot of wear and tear if you pick up mash moving. The issue with mash moving, it sounds super duper nice when you first describe it, and it is when you learn how to do it, but it really lowers, for me, I found really lowers the accuracy of making sure that I'm dropping my bubbles in the right column. Oh, Deka Fumo taking game 1. Nice. And that was another close one on quota there. So they definitely, they practice a lot. I use mash moving when I know I need to move the full length of the board. If I'm going full side to side, I will use it because I know if I'm throwing it down the side column, there's no way I can mess it up. I just mash move until it won't let me go anymore. But if you're trying to do a really precise drop with it, sometimes you end up misdropping, and that could be lethal. So we're seeing Sun here. This is the first time I think we've seen Sun on stream. Sun, one of the mid-tier characters. All the mid-tier characters are basically defined by their pressure coming down the middle of the board. Fairly easy to deal with. And they don't really have complex, combinations of patterns for the bubbles that they're sending alongside that color-wise. So I expect, okay, that one didn't, but I expect most of these games to go to quota, and I expect most of these games start with them pushing out their board as far as they can to take advantage of getting an early quota lead, or using like the rainbow bubble or the burst bubble to get ahead of their opponent.
Talking about mash movement, is that something I can expect to find in every version of the game? Or is it a Magical Drop 3 thing?
I honestly have not tested it in the other versions of the game. I only know it from this one. But I've only played like a little bit of Magical Drop 2, and almost none of Magical Drop 1. But it is something like they're making a Magical Drop 6 now. It's in development. And I would really love to see a technique like that make its way into Magical Drop 6, because it does really add to the skill ceiling of the game.
Alright, just to let you guys know that you guys are being raided by Conspiratorial. Thank you so much for the raid, my dude. We just got done with Survival Arts. Say hi to everyone who's being raided. Hello, for those of you guys who are just joining. Welcome to the Magical Drop Tournament for AlexAlchemy's Everything number 3, where we play some dope-ass Kusoge for a great cause. And tonight, we're just playing some dope Magical Drop, alongside Color Thief, Bird Up, and of course Deku Fumo called. Feel free to introduce yourselves, everyone.
Yeah, so I'm Bird Up. I am the tournament organizer for Magical Drop 3. I run events like this every month, and I'm happy to answer any questions you might have about the game. If you want to drop them into the channel, I'll check them when I have the opportunity and try to answer your questions.
I'm Color Thief. I'm running the Tetris Grandmaster 2 tournament as part of this charity stream on Sunday, and we also run them monthly, so be sure to check that out if you like some Tetris.
Yeah. Ooh, Lovers. I know Lovers is like a Deka Fumo special. One of the few players who actually picks Lovers often, and I think one of the other people in my Lovers fan club who most players, and like all the Japanese tier lists that we've seen, put Lovers as like a bottom tier character alongside Fool and Devil, and I actually think that Lovers has a lot more to her than people give credit. So her pattern is the same as the Fool and Devils, where it just gives you a really easy to sort color combination that you could kind of see on the right-hand side there. But because there's the little tiny step in her pattern shape, rather than it being flat, if you let her send you enough pressure, it gets really unwieldy really quickly. And another thing to note is there's a secret character, and we haven't seen any of the secret characters yet tonight. We'll see them at some point, called Hanged Man, who has the same exact shape as Lovers, but just a little bit more jumbled of a color combination, and is a top tier character. So if he's a top tier and he's got the same pattern shape, I'm assuming Lovers is better than she's getting credit for. So we'll see if Deka Fumo could win on his counterpick here. For those of you who are here with the raid, you've never seen Magical Drop 3 before, it's a high-speed, like, action puzzle game, and our goal is we're trying to just make columns of 3 or more of the same color bubble, and it'll pop everything adjacent to it. Really easy to pick up, super easy to learn all the rules too, really fun to just play on your own, and all of the single-player skills carry over to multiplayer. So if this is something that looks interesting to you, I really recommend checking it out. And another thing for those of you who are just tuning in, there's a number in between the two screens called the quota. That's counting down every time somebody pops a bubble, and regardless of what the board state's like, when that number reaches 0 for one of the players, that player will win. So we actually saw that the last round, Vestido Loli on the right was able to reach quota before Deka Fumo and take the victory, despite neither of them getting pushed off the board. So the fact that the game has 2 win conditions is kind of interesting, namely because based on what character you are playing, and we're going to only play mirror matches, you kind of vary your strategy. There's certain characters that are really lean towards wanting to run for quota. There's certain characters that you almost never see anybody reach quota with. It's all pressure based.
The quota is a really cool innovation. It's way cooler than like timeouts, which are very common in arcade versus games.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, there's characters in this game that if there's 2 strong players playing against each other, there's no way either of them are going to kill each other with pressure. Like, 2 good Fool two good players playing Fool against each other, like there's no way that game's ever going to end. So that's why Quota needs to exist. And it does a good job for what it was set up to do. It like really actually accomplishes its goal. So I think this is going to be a big one here. This is Deka Fuma's counter pick, and if they can win this, they'll keep that counter pick advantage. But if they lose this, kind of like a break point in tennis, Vestido de Loli is going to have last say in Game 5, if it goes there, as to what character they play. And right now, they're pretty neck and neck in Quota. I think Vestido de Loli, yeah, is ahead in tempo, so they're... If everything stays as is, they will likely reach Quota first. Yeah, they're only 7 away. That should be it. They should stop comboing. Yeah, there you go. So Vestido de Loli could take that game. And we're going to see what Deka Fumo's counter pick is. I think it's High Priestess, maybe? No? Secret characters?
Yugs?
Secret characters. Hangman? Yeah. So like I said, Hangman and Lovers are very close to one another in terms of like how they play. Hangman just has a little bit harder to deal with color combination that he's dropping.
So, Britta, you know these players. I know Deka Fumo plays this game a lot. I don't know Vestido de Loli, but as a C rank versus a B rank, is a 2-1 score like an upset, or is that just par for the course?
These players, Deka Fumo is like the tier right below Vestido de Loli. So, like we have our two juggernauts, Rudolph and Wanpa, and you'll see Rudolph at some point tonight. Then we have me, who's like a clear third. And then there's a couple of players nippy at my heels, Vestido de Loli being one of them, and then a couple of players nippy at their heels, Deka Fumo being one of them. So Deka Fumo has been rising up the rankings recently. If he wins this set, that is an upset in my opinion. But running it close is kind of to be expected at this point. He's getting a lot better. And that's the nice thing. We've been having tournaments for like a full year now, and I think a lot of players have really come into their element and grown if they've just stuck with the game. I think we as a scene are now less likely to be, bullied by an outsider who shows up and is just like, oh yeah, I used to play this game and I was good at it, right? We are now like specialists, and I think unless you are really grinding this game, you'd have a hard time taking anything off of these magical drop like veterans of our competitive scene.
So how do you think this scene compares to the Japanese scene?
I think, having watched some of their events, there are 2 or 3 players in Japan who I think are still stronger than me. If they're stronger than Rudolph and Wanpa is questionable. I think it's going to be either really close or Rudolph and Wanpa might win. But then there's a lot of players around everybody else's level. So I think the international scene has really caught up. And if Rudolph and Wanpa kind of get their chance to shine, they might actually be the 2 best players in the world at this point.
That's so cool. I think Fightcade has really enabled a cross-pollination of verses that is unprecedented for a lot of these neglected games.
Yeah,
wow, we have Deka Fumo tying. This is going to game 5 here.
So this is Vestido's pick. Are we going Judgment? That would make sense to me. Okay. Judgment's a mid-tier. And they have like a little bit... They send straight lines of color. If you've played like Puzzle Fighter before, it's like the Ken style drop pattern. But if you can dig out one of the sides of your board, you can kind of sneak bubbles in the back and just clear those straight lines as they're coming. And it's like really, really helpful. So you'll probably try to see our players do that. If you can maintain the straight lines in the back of the board as they come, kind of like you're seeing on Vestido Loli's side there, it gives you like a really easy job to clear, and you could get way ahead on quota. But yeah, I think to your point about the Fightcade, like, if Fightcade didn't exist, I don't think I would play this game because I don't have anybody really to play against. I played with like friends locally, and then when things like, when one person starts pulling ahead in your friend group, the other people start like, not wanting to play as often, and you wouldn't have a grinder. And now I have like players in Mexico, players in Argentina, players across the US that I could get online, know they'll be there, and grind with them, and we've all gotten so much better and like raised the collective level of the scene. Oh no, he's gonna just lose to quota there. Alright, Deka Fumo's
got a stat point here.
Yeah, gotta dig deep here. That's probably an error that he's gonna want back.
So is this a character you typically die or win on quota with?
This is normally a quota character. I rewrote our tier list recently after we've been playing for a full year, and I instead of breaking them by just like mid-tier, high-tier, we organized it by like character strategy. Is it a pressure specific character? Is it a coin flip character? Or is it a quota character? I think it's a good way to kind of think about the game as a whole. It's like, what strategy am I not what character am I picking based on their tier position, but what character am I picking based on their strategy? And what strategy fits my player skill better than my opponent's?
Deka hanging on by a thread.
Really close one.
3 quota difference there.
Yeah.
Now, because of the garbage pattern, do you want to avoid anything higher than, what is that, a 2-3 chain? Anything higher than a 3 chain is bad?
It depends, right? At a certain point, if you feel like you've already started a long combo, sometimes you just want to keep pushing. No, he's going to lose that ice. He's got to move that. No! Oh, I think he definitely froze up there. No pun intended, because it was the ice, but nice try, Deka.
GG's.
Yeah, that was a close one. Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very good games from Vestido.
Yeah.
I definitely did better than I expected I would. So I'm despite my choke at the end there, I'm pretty happy.
I was gonna say, I assume you probably wanted those last 2 back, right? Like 2 of those rounds on Justice. I think you
Yeah.
struggled and you like lost to pressure when you probably could have stayed alive.